Lesson 4-5, Solving Two-Step Equations. Two-step equations contain multiple operations in one equation. To solve a two-step equation, you use the inverse operation to undo each operation in reverse order. So you know that the order of operations is parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract, where these can flip at any time. When we're undoing two-step equations, you start with addition and subtraction and you work your way backwards. You always want to identify what is happening to the variable and then work backwards from there. So let's take a look at this example. We can see that the variable is a and it's being multiplied by 3. It's also being added to 9. So the opposite of order of operations is to subtract first. So we subtract 9 from both sides and we get 3a equals 24. Now, this is a one-step equation, so we divide both sides by 3 and we just get a equals 8. Let's look at this example together. This one is now using negative numbers. So again, we have 4x minus 5 equals negative 33. So we identify the variable, which is x. It's being multiplied and subtracted. So then we do the opposite backwards. So we're going to add 5 first. So we add 5 to this side. So that leaves us with 4x equals, now we have a negative 33 plus 5. So the different signs, subtract and get 28. And you take the sign of the bigger number, which is a negative. We now divide both sides by 4, and we get x equals negative 7. Pause the video to try a few examples. For the first example, you subtract 1, and we get 6x equals 44. Then you divide both sides by 6, and 6 does not go into 44 evenly, so you pull out the 7. So 7 is our whole number with 6 is our denominator. We have 2 left over, so this is simplified to 7 1/3. The next example, you subtract 22 from both sides, and so you get 6p equals negative 12. Divide both sides by 6, and p equals negative 2. In this example, we have a multiplication or a division problem because the p is divided by 5 and then subtracted by 12. So we add our 12, just like we did in the previous examples, which leaves us p divided by 5 equals 32. So now you notice that the p is being divided by 5. So that means we need to multiply it by 5. So whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. And so we would get p equals 160. We can also solve equations with negative coefficients. You want to remember that the sign is always in front of the number. So we have a negative 15 minus b equals 44. So the first thing you want to do is you want to move this negative 15 by adding 15 to both sides. So we have negative b equals 59. You need to remember that there is a 1 in front of this b. So we're now able to divide both sides by negative 1, which leaves b by itself, which would turn this into a negative 59 for our answer. Pause the video to try a few examples below. For the first example, you're going to subtract 15 from both sides. So if we have 8 and we subtract 15, we get negative 7 equals n over 3. multiply both sides by 3, and so we get n equals negative 21. The next example, you have 9 minus t equals negative 34. If there's no sign in front of the number, then it's a positive. So that means you subtract 9 from this side, and you subtract 9 from this side. So we have a negative t equals a negative 43. Now you are able to divide both sides by negative 1, which leaves you with t equals a positive 43. When we're solving for two-steps equations, you can also kind of simplify, and there might be an other step that's not an operation. So for example, we have 2x plus x minus 27 equals 3. So in this example, you want to identify your like terms. And so that's 2x and x. You want to combine those to make 3x, and then the rest of your problem. Then from there you can continue to solve through where you add 27 to both sides. So 3x equals 30, and then you divide by 3 and x equals 10. Make sure that you're always looking for these like terms. Remember that if it's just a variable without a coefficient, that coefficient is always a 1. Pause the video to complete the lesson review. Make sure you show me the lesson review for verification of this video.